So, I know I've been gone for a while, but I haven't seen a lot of movies recently. Made me real sad. Um, However, over the weekend I did see Toy Story 3, so we will be reviewing that. And to get in the mood, got myself a cowboy hat right here. And as we all know, Woody is the best character. Sorry, Buzz fans, but come on, it's Woody. We're gonna take this off. Um, so basically, Toy Story 3. You've seen the first two movies. You're gonna love this movie. You haven't seen the first two movies. You're gonna love this movie anyway because it's Toy Story. You basically have all of your same characters in it. There was the subtraction of little Bo Peep. Woody's girlfriend, Bo. It was kind of sad because Woody's alone now. He doesn't have his bow, and anyway, starting off, they do a little montage of Andy when he's a boy and he's playing with his toys, and it's just so adorable. But then it goes to the toys are actually all stuck in a box, and they put on this elaborate prank to try to get Andy to play with them. But he doesn't because, he's 18, he's going off to college, he doesn't really play with his toys anymore. So his mom forces him to do something with his toys, to clean up his entire room, because these are one of those parents that want their kid to get everything out of their bedroom because it's going to be turned into a sewing room the minute they leave. That's pretty sad. But so Andy has to figure out, if it's going in the attic, going with him to college, being thrown out, or donating them to this place called Sunnyside. And Andy loves his toys, so he puts them in a garbage bag to stick them up in the attic, but somehow they don't end up there. His mom takes the garbage bag, thinks it's garbage, throws it out, and this is all really sad. This is all the toys except, these are all the main toys. These aren't all of his other toys, but he still has, the main ones that you'd see on movie posters. So he threw all of them in the garbage sack, except for Woody, who he was planning to take to college. Because, let's be honest, that would make any kid cool at college if they did have their cowboy doll. So Woody sees all of this go down. He tries to find the toys, escape from the bag, end up in Mom's car, because they're going to go to Sunnyside because they want to get donated. Woody tries to convince them not to because Andy still likes them. They don't believe that. Because throughout all their years together, why would they ever believe Woody? He's just always correct. So, they all head off to Sunnyside. They think it's amazing when they get there. The dictator of all the toys there, his name's Lotso Hugs. I don't think I could ever hate a teddy bear as much as I do Lotso, but I guess it happens. In fact, after seeing this movie, a friend and I were at Walmart and we saw a poster for it, and Lotso was on the poster. I'm like, grr, why would I want a poster with Lotso on it? That's terrible, and you'll find out why. If you have seen it, then of course you know why. But anyway. Lotso tells them that they're going to end up in this room, whatever it's called. Unfortunately, it's the room with all the, toddlers in it, really little kids, who are the ones you're not supposed to give these toys that they could chew on the small pieces and die. But why would the staff check on the safety of the toys? They already have everything locked and secured, but do toys have choking pieces? They're not concerned. Anyways, Woody escapes, but he doesn't get back to Andy. He actually ends up at this girl's house, and she's the daughter of one of the people that works at Sunnyside. So she takes she takes Woody back to her house and plays with him. But during the night, he tries to figure out where Andy is, and he map quests it because toys are very intelligent with technology nowadays. So he finds out, but then he hears all this awful stuff about Sunnyside and how his friends aren't going to make it and they'll probably end up being broken. So he decides he needs to get back to Sunnyside. Meanwhile, the toys at Sunnyside, they obviously figure out how awful a place it is because, as we all know, playing with toddlers is just awful. So they want to get transferred to the room with the kids the appropriate age to play with them. So Buzz goes out and tries to discuss this with Lotso. It's the middle of the night, everything's locked, but they find a way out because they're geniuses. And he ends up overhearing something he shouldn't have, and so Lotso finds Buzz Lightyear's manual, because why wouldn't they have that there? Ends up resetting him to where he believes he's a space ranger and not a toy again. So then he's harming his friends. By the way, new characters introduced in this movie besides Lotso are scary ass giant baby and Kin, because Andy's little sister donated her Barbie, so they had a Kin opposite of Barbie. Is great. I do enjoy Kin. He's kind of a jerk. But so basically now Buzz has all these other toys on lockdown, as is the entire facility. The toys have more security than the actual daycare itself has, that they formed. But anyway, I'm confusing myself. Woody got back into the facility, made a plan with the toys there, and they try to get themselves out. But they are just geniuses. I don't think if I was a foot tall and everything else was the same size that I'd be able to do any of this. Especially when one would think they'd have no strength, but they're quite strong. Anyway, so they figure out how to do everything. One of the characters that they do have to take down is the creepy monkey that has the clingy thing. The terrifying one that Stephen King wrote a scary story about. Yeah, they threw that in Toy Story 3 for the factor, I guess. So, anyway, basically, they get out of the facility the only way they can. Lotso comes and tries to stop them, but Woody found out all about Lotso's past when he was at the girl's house, so he brings it up, and Scary Baby, I feel sorry for Scary Baby now, because he wasn't always Scary Baby. He was adorable baby, but baby dolls are just scary in general. So he throws Lotso in a garbage can, and the toys escape, but then Lotso comes and grabs Woody's legs and drags him into the garbage can. So now the toys are in the garbage can because they're trying to get Woody. They end up going to the giant dumpster truck, and they end up being taken to the giant dumpster field. By the way, Buzz is speaking Spanish at this point because his Spanish setting has been turned on. So that's great. Anyway, they're in the dumpster facility, and of course, they're part of the garbage pile that is now going to be disintegrated. So they need to figure out a way out of that, and the first obstacle is like the spinny death cage or something, but they figure out a way out of that, and then they see this fire coming, so they're running for their lives away from it. They know it's on a belt or whatever. And Buzz and Woody actually end up saving Lotso from the spinny cage of death. And Lotso sees a way to stop the belt thing they're on before they go into this incinerator. So he climbs up a ladder to go push the button, but then he doesn't because Lotso's a giant douche. So they end up going into this pit, and they can't find a way out, so they've accepted death. And that's really sad, because the toys have accepted death at this point. And you fall in love with these characters. You're like, this cannot be the way it ends, but the toys aren't thinking of anything, you can't think of anything, and it's just so sad. But then they do get out by use of the claw, which I'm not going to go into that, but the claw saves them, the little green aliens. And they do end up getting back to Andy by jumping on a garbage truck that goes by Andy's house. And so they get into Andy's room, all sneakily like. They're going to put him in the attic, but then Woody writes him a little note, and Andy's like, aha, don't know where this note came from, but I'll accept it. And actually goes and donates his toys to the little girl that Woody ended up going to so they could be played with again. And so, there's this big montage of them playing together, and then Andy drives away. By the way, Andy did know the entire time that his toys were missing, that his mom threw out his toys, so he thought they were gone forever, but then they found them all again. And he does end up leaving Woody at the little girl's house, and it is sad, but it's also happy. I'd never call this a sad movie. Yes, there are some sad parts. It's going to make you want to cry, especially if you have a child that's going away to college, or you're kind of thinking about things like that. It's going to be quite sad for you. Growing up as well, kind of, it does have sad qualities to it, and I can understand why people say it's sad, but it does end up on a happy note. For the toys, at least. Thinking in the toys' perspective is very happy. So, that's that. It's great, but of course it's a Pixar movie, it's a Toy Story movie. It's going to be great. So go ahead and see that if you haven't already. It's sad if you haven't already. I know I hadn't. I saw it in a dollar theater. But there you go.